Okay. It's barely still September, so these are fucking hard. Look, Loot, they're great. They came up with something that I was really kind of excited about, but then as I got into it, I thought, I don't know that I am that excited. I didn't think about doing a review until I keep on thinking about shit. So, they create a terrain set, but it's not even a dungeon set. It's not even a set of dungeon tiles. It's sewer tiles, specifically sewer tiles, which is quite different, which part of me likes, part of me hates, and we're going to get into it. Let's start off and let me show you all of the things that they offer. Alright, so as I said, they are sewer tiles. We've got, right there in the middle, there's a tall wall. We got a 4x4 tile. These are not 1-inch tiles. These are not 1-inch tiles. They are slightly larger. It's about 1.1. And the files actually say they're 32 millimeter something. So maybe there's something and they got scaled up. But we got ourselves a low side wall with a pipe spitting shit out that we got a sewer grate with some murky water. There are these tiles which are great, so you can use them to make your own little waterway. Here's a nice corner. I did not paint these next few water pieces because they're not needed in the specific map that they give. This is some sort of little hieroglyphic thing, which I hate, and I will tell you why later. We got a nice tall wall with a good... What I love about this, it's a good thing to escape. We have a nice destination. Another little low wall, sort of a 2x2, skinny 1x2 going into a curved wall, and they're curved walls because these are for sewers. It's theoretically for water to flow. You don't need or want a sharp edge in a sewer. But what that also means is that well, like this. Here, check this out. Hey, I want to put my guy here. Well, he kind of stands there, but well, you know what? That's actually not that terrible. But it's awkward. It's awkward. A little trapdoor, which is fun. This door, pretty badass. It's nice. It works. And again, good. I mean, it's actually giant. But what's nice, it's nice about this, is that you can now imagine that giant creatures can, or maybe might, or should not go through. What are you keeping out? What are you keeping in? Of course, they have their very standard treasure chest. This one is being eaten by rats, which is kind of fun. I have come to really look forward to seeing the unique treasure chests that Loot offers each month. And they do have a bunch of pipes, because these are sewers. They're sewer pipes. And as I mentioned in one of the early reviews, I am not a fan of quite frankly, the steampunk nature of these pipes. Because we have valves, we have little nuts and bolts, so it means they're threaded. The first threaded bolts came around in the 1400s, but they weren't really standardized with, to use interchangeable nuts until like 1800s, and it just feels a little steampunk. Just since it's right back here in front of me, again, I will talk about this. Let's see if I can focus on this, or maybe show you what you have. This is a Egyptian hieroglyphic. I don't know that anyone would see that and say, oh, that's not Egyptian. That looks like a pharaoh, which now we've got specifically Egyptian iconography in Ravenloft, in Greyhawk, in Dragonlance, in Forgotten Realms. It's weird. I don't know why they didn't just create their own iconography or take something from the D&D world. I don't know. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. Everything else is, it's fine. It's fun. And it gives you a lot to make stuff with. And I will now show you what they are suggesting you make. This is what we got. It's a 8 by something. It's a big room. It's a big room. We can make ourselves a little corridor to another room. These things are fucking annoying. They're annoying for a couple reasons. There's no real easy way to stick them together. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have blue tack. I don't want to permanently glue them together because once you play this arrangement, then you never really need them. This tall thing right here, this is a horrible design. It's a horrible design because it sticks out like a goddamn sore thumb. theoretically, this is supposed to be attached to that and then stuck to the wall. But all you're doing is just preventing, I don't know, people from using that area, I guess. And the fact that there are pipes that are so stuck, like you can't have a person, you can't have like a little dude say, I'm gonna hop on top of the pipe, because they're not gonna stay. Whereas if it was sort of like lower or just a flat map, we'll get to that later, then you could have people jump on top of pipes. We got ourselves a little another corridor. All the corridors are the same. That's what they recommend. We've got ourselves a cool little waterway. Theoretically, I don't know where it is. There's a little piece of wood, I printed it, that goes across that you can, jump there. It's great. More pipes, more broken sewer things, a little gate that opens. I actually love this. This is my favorite part of it, the door. And then we've got ourselves a trapdoor and a ladder up. Again, just looking at it aesthetically, it's all low walls except for the escape area right there and the thing that doesn't need to be there, because the only reason it's that tall is to stick a pipe to it. I think that's bad design. Unless they designed this extra top half, and then you could just print those off and you could make a whole wall. Now, I guess you could probably do that even just in Cheetah Box, just lower it to that point and then print off the rest. That's an idea. But this is it. This is what you would print off if you wanted to do the specific encounter thing that they gave you. I didn't print the map this time because it just felt like a waste. So look, so that's that. It's a lot. It takes a lot of time to print all of that out. I didn't do the math on how much resin it takes, but it's a lot for one specific, unless you're going to do a lot of shit. Let me show you the other thing, though. Here's okay, here's the deal. They also supply printable maps for all of those sections. And the great thing about this corridor is that your little figures aren't going to fall over on the curved section, because this is what it kind of really looks like, but this is what it looks like when you print it. And you can just say, I'm on the edge. Fine. +1 difficulty to whatever the fuck. Now, here was my hope. I thought I was going to print these. Think about this. If you're going to print these, I thought, instead of printing these on one giant sheet, because these are supposed to be on a 4-sized paper, I was like, you know what? I'm going to print them on a 3-sized paper, because that'll be half and half, and then I could mix and match the different maps. I thought that would be a good idea. But in reality, what happens is we got 2 sides of a map here, which is fine, except I've got this little bit of stuff which doesn't coincide with the other random piece that I could put next to it. This thing. They're not... This one I printed at a slightly different size, I think. They're not completely interchangeable. That's what I'm saying. What would have been super fucking great, now this is something they could think about for the future. I hope they watch this. I'm assuming that all of these elements, this little block of pipes, is a separate element that they designed in Photoshop. It's a different layer. So theoretically, they could include a whole bunch, like 8 different, 10, 12 different squares as individual graphic items that you could use to put here, there, match them all up in Photoshop. It's pretty easy. And then they could include this little pipe thing as a separate file to then put on top. Same thing with all of them, with all of the corner pieces, with everything. You could put this, you could have this trap door be a separate graphic, which they already have because that's how they designed it. I'm assuming. I think. Same thing with the little rat guy. Just make him be a separate thing. They could have all of these could be individual water tiles, so they could just supply a whole bunch of, image files, small image files, and then you could design whatever you want. I think that would be so much more helpful than these. I printed these on, here's some pro tips, presentation paper. I thought that would be a little thicker, better than just regular paper. It's not. It's like the same thing. I bought it at Staples presentation paper. What's really bullshit is that they tell you in the instructions on how to use it, print on the whiter side of the paper. Hold on. Okay, so this is what I bought. I bought presentation paper, matte. I thought, okay, that's a little better than photo paper. Maybe I'll save some money. And they say in here, for handling, the whiter side is the printable side. So, the whiter side is the printable side. We have this side, and we have this side. Side A, side B. Can you tell me which is the whiter side? Fuck them. Fuck Epson. So that's what I have to say about that. And it just drained the fucking ink. I mean, it's just like these like felt a little wet. You could see some wet spots because it's really dark. Hindsight being what it is, I would have much rather had these printed up at Staples or wherever on photo paper. Let them waste all of their dark ink. Don't print them up yourself. They'll be on heavier stock. They'll be on photo paper. You don't need to buy a whole bunch. I think I did do the math. If you wanted to print up all of these, it comes to about $5. It was like $5 if you printed everything. There's 4 rooms on 2 sheets. That's 8 photos, and then you can fit all of the little hallways onto one full sheet. So that's just 9 photos. That's all. 9 8 by 12 sheets of photo paper. So is it worth it? No. I don't. I'm gonna use the pieces, and I might even print off more. I've got a little bookshelf that I've been storing all my minis on, and I'm gonna try and make little shelves out of. Well, okay, hold on. Okay, it's me again. I want to try and make a shelf out of, I'm going to try and show this to you, like, put this in the back lower corner of the bookshelf, of the nook, and put this thing behind it, and I might just back it with cardboard or something. That's kind of enough space to then put some little people here, something like that, and then, on the top side, put another little shelf, and because of the way that these are arranged, there are some of the corner sidewalls that don't stick out, so you could alternate the tiles to glue them together and have a pretty firm base. So is it worth it for me to design an entire enclosure? Maybe. That extra tall wall I showed you earlier, I feel like that's a deep design flaw. And again, I've already talked about this. The inclusion of welding and what seemed to be uniform nuts and bolts seems a little more steampunk than fantasy. They could have made these pipes out of like a stone hewn pipe, like the Romans had. That would have been a really interesting alternative to the look of these. It's just a little too modern. Fuck, is that all I have to say about the terrain? I hope so, because I am done talking.